territories since 1967. Finally, most righteous Jews believe that the Palestinians deserve a viable state of their own. In essence, they believe that self-determination applies to Palestinians as well as Jews, and that the two-state solution is the best way to achieve that end. Some righteous Jews, however, favor a democratic binational state over the two-state solution. To give you a better sense of what I mean when I use the term righteous Jews, let me give you some names of people and organizations that I would put in this category. The list would include Noam Chomsky, Roger Cohen, Richard Falk, Norman Finkelstein, Tony Judt, Tony Karan, Naomi Klein, M.J. Rosenberg, Sarah Roy, and Philip Weiss of Mondo Weiss fame, just to name a few. I would also include many of the individuals associated with J Street and everyone associated with Jewish Voice for Peace, as well as distinguished international figures like Richard Goldstone. Furthermore, I would apply the label to the many American Jews who work for different human rights organizations, such as Kenneth Roth of Human Rights Watch. On the other side, we have the New Afrikaners, who will support Israel even if it is an apartheid state. These are individuals who will back Israel no matter what it does, because they have blind loyalty to the Jewish state. This is not to say that the New Afrikaners think that apartheid is an attractive or desirable political system, because I am sure many of them do not. Surely some of them favor a two-state solution, and some of them probably have a serious commitment to liberal values. The key point, however, is that they have an even deeper commitment to supporting Israel unreservedly. The New Afrikaners will, of course, try to come up with clever arguments to convince themselves and others that Israel is really not an apartheid state, and that those who say it is are anti-Semites. We're all familiar with this strategy. I would classify most of the individuals who head the lobby's major organizations as New Afrikaners. This would include Abraham Foxman of the Anti-Defamation League, David Harris of the American Jewish Committee, Malcolm Hohenlein of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Ronald Lauder of the World Jewish Congress, and Morton Klein of the Zionist Organization of America, just to name some of the more prominent ones. I would also include businessmen like Sheldon Adelson, Lester Crown, and Mortimer Zuckerman, as well as media personalities like Fred Hyatt and Charles Krauthammer of the Washington Post, Bret Stephens of the Wall Street Journal, and Martin Peretz of the New Republic. It would be easy to add more names to this list. The key to determining whether the lobby can protect apartheid Israel over the long run is whether the great ambivalent middle sides with the New Afrikaners or the righteous Jews. The New Afrikaners have to win that fight decisively for Greater Israel to survive as a racist state. There's no question that the present balance of power favors the New Afrikaners. When push comes to shove on issues relating to Israel, the hardliners invariably get most of those American Jews who care a lot about Israel to side with them. The righteous Jews, on the other hand, hold considerably less sway with the great ambivalent middle, at least at this point in time. This situation is due in good part to the fact that most American Jews, especially the elders in the community, have little understanding of how far down the apartheid road Israel has traveled and where it is ultimately headed. They think that the two-state solution is still a viable option, and that Israel remains committed to allowing the Palestinians to have their own state. These false beliefs allow them to act as if there is little danger that Israel is becoming South Africa, which makes it easy for them to side with the new Afrikaners. This situation, however, is unsustainable over time. Once it is widely recognized that the two-state solution is dead and Greater Israel is a reality, the righteous Jews will have two choices: support apartheid or work to help create a democratic binational state. I believe that almost all of the righteous Jews will opt for the latter option, in large part because of their deep-seated commitment to liberal values, which renders any apartheid state abhorrent to them. Of course, the new Afrikaners will fiercely defend apartheid Israel because their commitment to Israel is so unconditional that it overrides any commitment they might have to liberal values. The critical question, however, is what will happen to those Jews who comprise the great ambivalent middle once it is clear to them that Israel is a full-fledged apartheid state and that facts on the ground have made a two-state solution impossible. Will they side with the new Afrikaners and defend Israel, or will they ally with the righteous Jews and call for making Greater Israel a true democracy? Or will they sit silently on the sidelines? I believe that most of the Jews in the great ambivalent middle will not defend apartheid Israel, but will either keep quiet or side with the righteous Jews against the new Afrikaners, who will become increasingly marginalized over time. And once that happens, the lobby will be unable to provide cover for Israel's racist policies towards the Palestinians the way it has in the past. There are a number of reasons why there is not likely to be much support for Israel inside the American Jewish community, as it looks more and more like white-ruled South Africa. For starters, apartheid is a despicable political system, and it is fundamentally at odds with basic American values as well as core Jewish values. This is why the new Afrikaners will defend Israel on the grounds that it is not an apartheid state, and that security concerns explain why Israel has to discriminate against and oppress the Palestinians. But again, we are rapidly reaching the point where it is hard to miss the fact that Greater Israel is becoming a full-fledged apartheid state, and that those who claim otherwise are either delusional or disingenuous. Simply put, not many American Jews are likely to be fooled by the new Afrikaners' arguments. Furthermore, survey data shows that younger American Jews feel less attachment to Israel than their elders. This is surely due to the fact that the younger generations were born after the Holocaust and after anti-Semitism have largely been eliminated from American life. Also, Jews have been seamlessly integrated into the American mainstream, to the point where many community leaders worry that rampant intermarriage will lead to the disappearance of American Jewry over time. Not surprisingly, younger Jews are less disposed to see Israel as a safe haven should the Goyim go on another anti-Semitic rampage, because they recognize that this is simply not going to happen here in the United States. That perspective makes them less inclined than their elders to defend Israel no matter what. There's another reason why American Jews are likely to feel less connected to Israel in the years ahead. Important changes are taking place in the demographic makeup of Israel that will make it more difficult for them to identify closely with the Jewish state. When Israel was created in 1948, few ultra-Orthodox Jews lived there. In fact, ultra-Orthodox Jews were deeply hostile to Zionism, which they viewed as an affront to Judaism. Secular Jews dominated Israeli life at its founding, and they still do. but their influence has been waning and is likely to decline much more in the decades ahead. The main reason is that the ultra-Orthodox